All right.
Episode number 2.
Episode 2.
Long time, guys.
Welcome
Long
back,
time no
everybody.
see.
2.
Welcome back to.
Yeah, welcome back.
Are we like Disney movie titles? Welcome back to the Third Pedal Podcast.
All right, guys. Third Pedal Podcast, episode 2.
Thank you. That's better.
Yeah. So talked about our first cars, the last episode.
Yeah.
This episode, we're gonna talk about other things. I queued up a question though last time. And
It was a cliffhanger too.
Yeah.
yeah, it's not even that great of a question because the last joke I tried to do didn't go anywhere. So we're gonna try. No, so you were talking about, we were talking about mid-engine cars and different engines and things. like that.
Yeah.
So I can't remember how we totally got into it, but I guess my question came down to, because we were talking about like mid-engine and other cars that had that, and the Ford GT, and you're like, oh, that's a supercar. But I was curious, what is the break point for you guys? Because there's sports cars, and then there's supercars,
Supercar, yeah.
and then there's something in between, isn't there? Isn't that just the
Hypercar?
two? Hypercars.
Isn't
is the next
hypercar
one.
above supercar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Okay.
what it is. So sports, super, hyper.
So it's like your car, and then your car, then my car.
Basically, yeah. That's what we learned last week. Is it's basically you got the E30s of the world,
Yep.
and then you got the Porsche 944s, and then you have the fast cars.
Fast and quotes. Realistically, though, for how fast some cars are, like our version of fast is like so slow.
Yeah, dude. So
Dude,
slow.
fast
Like
is
our-
relative, you know,
Fast is a feeling.
in your body. No, so I'm curious for you guys, like what makes the break point if you were driving something? What brings it from sports to super and from super to hyper? Is the Ford GT a supercar?
Oh, so hypercar is above supercar.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta get that down. Then yeah, Ford GT is just a supercar. Definitely not a hypercar. I don't think it does. I don't think it has enough to make it like stand out like a hypercar typically does. Like a hypercar is like
Name one hypercar.
I'm blanking on the model. The Ferrari LaFerrari.
Yeah.
The thing that's like 800 horsepower of an engine, and then another like 400 horsepower from electric motors, and then the electric motors regen to give it more
Why
power.
don't I know about this car?
Dude,
Yeah, it's like a weird hybrid. It's like the Porsche 918.
It's nuts. Yeah, the 918 is the other one I was thinking of. Like those cars are like, it's so much of a car.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Fact check on the horsepower figure.
49.
You had said it was about 800, right?
Yeah.
950.
Cool.
I'd
I'd rather be
6.3
wrong on the
I know.
low side.
6.3 V12. Yeah, okay, that would be a hypercar.
Yeah, like
right?
that's what I mean. Like those
Yeah.
are like they're so like beyond any other car that it's just like you can't really define it. And that's why it's just like a hypercar.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
what does even,
that makes
like, what
sense.
does
That makes
hypercar
sense.
even mean? But
Yeah. So then what breaks the bracket from sports to super? Because I think you got a lot of, because of Ford GT, right? But then you've got like Vipers, you've got the Corvettes. Those are like the GM and the Chrysler competitors for those.
yeah,
I'm with you because I think easy the GT is in supercar category,
Yeah.
especially the new one. Like the old one,
But-
in its time definitely was.
Is the Chevy C8 Corvette a supercar?
See, that's where I was going to go with it because I don't know. That one gets more, I think it's just super high-end sports car. Viper, I think I'd put in supercar.
yeah.
Maybe
'cause
it's exclusivity.
Viper feels like it'll kill you every time you're in it, and I see a lot of people driving C8s like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't see a lot of people driving Vipers like it's nothing. Like
So
But we're saying C8's the mid-engine one, right?
Yeah, that's the new one.
Okay.
That's 495 horsepower.
yeah. And what's the like? So what's that
And that's
version
a
of the
six.
C8?
So is it like something that's not a V8? Is it like V10, V12, W16 or whatever the Bugatti
well, no,
is?
because
Is that
like
a
they
supercar?
don't
Are you saying to qualify?
To qualify as a
That's the question?
supercar.
No, because there's certain Ferraris that are just these like
Still
twin turbo V8s.
Well,
Right,
oh,
but that would
they're-
some Ferraris are sports cars though, just sports cars. They're
But
not all
then-
supercars,
I
right?
don't know about that.
On that,
Well,
though-
oh yeah, I get you.
would a twin turbo, the V8 version of an R8, would you classify that as a supercar?
Yeah. Oh.
Wait, what did you
got
say?
it. I'm like, yeah, that's the car we're gonna buy.
Idiot. Just prove my point. Dang it. Yeah, because I don't know what makes. I mean, maybe is it two-seater? I don't think that would do it. That
No.
seems like a
'Cause
weird.
What about that? What's the crazy
the-
long Koenigsegg? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Koenigsegg. Their new one. The
interesting.
4-door. No, it's 2-door, but it's
Okay.
four or 5 seater.
Does it really have?
That's
four
like a
seats?
hypercar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
It's crazy.
Is that?
What is?
Look it up real quick.
What is it called?
So interesting. Just real quick, because I
Yeah,
looked this
keep
up.
going. I gotta
So
Google something quick.
between because like for me, a Viper, like the 2021 C8 was
Yeah.
like a sports car, and then the Viper went to supercar territory.
Mm-hmm.
But both of their like base model lines, the Corvette comes in at 495 horsepower,
Okay.
and the Viper comes in at 550.
Okay.
So it's really not that much of a difference.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah, so I think that probably drops. Now I think if you're going into like, see what's hard is that like there's so many different versions of these cars. So like when you go into like some of the higher end versions of the Vipers, those almost head up to like, they're like without a
Like the
doubt I think-
ACRs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when you get to those,
Yeah.
when they're like pushing 1,000 horsepower from the factory, and then they're competing with like supercars.
Yeah.
then it's kind of hard to like define. But I think
Well, that's the thing though, because I don't know if it's necessarily like how fast it can go, right? Because like my car, for example, 4-cylinder turbo,
Yep.
with the tunes and stuff like that, they're on pace with like the McLaren like 560 GT or something like
Yeah.
that. I would
Yeah.
call the McLaren a supercar, but like
Yeah.
that
Well-
doesn't make my car a supercar though.
Well, no,
you
that's
know?
not what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
what I more so mean is like, yes, if you tune it outside of it, but like I'm saying
Yeah.
more so like from
the factory.
Yeah, how I view this is like talking from factory as a baseline.
Okay.
Because then like the
Because you're like,
the
you can build
Viper-
anything to do anything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but
that
then
makes
Dodge
sense.
over here is making a Viper that from factory.
Did you guys
close
like
to
that?
1,000 horsepower?
Did you like that quick like humble brag that I can make my car as fast as a McLaren?
Yeah.
It's like basically like what's
Appreciate it.
out
Basically,
there.
like, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So from Google, you guys are onto something here. According to Google, what differentiates supercars from sports cars is their top speed, performance, and acceleration statistics.
Interesting. That makes
So that
sense.
moves up the hierarchy. So though in certain instances a sports car can be faster than a hypercar, why are they slipping hypercars in here now? Lap times are not the only differentiating factor. So they're basing it off of those statistics.
oh, so it's like lap time speeds, not necessarily like so top speed, right?
No, so it's saying the top speed, performance, and acceleration
vague.
statistics. Yeah. So I think it's the top. I think it's the capability at the top end, like flat out what
Yeah.
the car can do. That there's. I'm not saying this is right. This is just what the classification is for that. But they're saying that doesn't necessarily like a sports car could be way faster than a hypercar driven on a track because that's all up to the driver. There's a lot more variables, things like that.
Yeah,
So you
for
can't
sure.
necessarily say like, oh, for Road America, like if you can get underneath whatever this minute lap is,
then you
that makes
be
it.
like this
Yeah.
car classification.
because I don't know what the thing is here. For me, it almost feels like there's a level of exclusivity that gets like I feel like Corvettes are kind of I like Corvettes,
Oh.
great engines, but I feel like they're targeted so vastly at like everybody can get a Corvette.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of Vipers. You don't see a lot of these other
Yeah.
vehicles. So I feel like there's a piece of that in my head that separates the two.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that's right, but that's kind of where like for hypercars are just stuff that you're like that's real. I thought that was a concept car.
Okay, here I got a
Hypercar.
good couple of definitions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so sports car, so sports super hyper, right?
Okay.
Sports car, the dictionary defines it as a low-built car designed for performance at high speeds. So it's pretty vague.
Can you say that again?
A low-built
yeah.
car for performance at high speeds. So what I'm finding
Okay.
is they basically are just stacking stuff on top of that because the definition
Okay.
for supercar
Okay.
is also called exotic car. I guess that's the same
Okay.
same thing, super exotic.
Weird. Okay.
Is a loosely defined description of a street legal high performance luxury sports car.
yeah.
Right?
I guess I kind of
So like
I don't
my
know if I
car is
follow
like a
that.
sports car,
Yeah.
right? But then like an R8 would be
because they usually do like the crazy
street legal
interior.
super high performance luxury sports car.
Yeah.
right? And then hypercar is defined as hypercar can be defined as the most superior and high performance cars on the market worldwide. Only 1% of cars are hypercars.
Superior.
So I guess it's just those are so loose definitions, though, right?
They are still
Yeah.
super loose.
Yeah.
I think the only thing I disagree with is bringing luxury into it because I think that's not part of the conversation.
Of a supercar.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
them being like, and it's luxurious. Because I'm like, well, it's
To
a
be
lot of
fair, I
luxury.
got that definition on
They
Wikipedia.
are, but then
That's
like,
a good. It's better than me googling that came from. This is biased too because it came from Aston Martin of Glenview.com.
They're like basically our cars.
yeah, they're like
make a
if it's
supercar.
got
Yeah.
this type of logo on it.
Yeah, but like because at that point I could have like a 2021 BMW 550.
Yeah.
And like those are insanely luxurious. They have a lot of power. And so like that would be counted as a supercar, but I'd never think of that as a supercar
Yeah.
ever. Like it's a cool car for sure.
Yeah.
But it's definitely just a sports car.
Yeah.
No way that's a supercar.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think there's a lot of. I don't think there's necessarily a right wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of. I don't know. I think that's kind of where I fall is like on the. It's like the base level statistics of it. By no means that one card's better than the other necessarily. It's
Yeah.
just those baseline like the 0 to 60 stuff like that.
I found another definition, but it's on Continental Autosports. It's just an Autosports page. Shout out Continental Autosports. But they're a official Ferrari dealer, so it's all just around why Ferraris are the best supercars. So
Wait, I want to hear this.
Tyler's like, yeah, they're
once
right.
upon a time, American muscle cars were considered supercars in some quarters, but nowadays nobody's going to confuse a comparatively humble Ford Mustang with a Ferrari F8 Tributo. They're just like,
Dude, I love how it's written. Like, no one's comparing.
No one's comparing this base model 4-cylinder Mustang with this specific Ferrari. It's like, oh,
Shed MSRPs for this price and includes options such as
and also, duh.
yeah, right. Like, duh.
It's confusing those.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a Ferrari or is that a Mustang?
You shouldn't be driving.
Unless it was in the 80s. It's a good thing that all cars are so different now because like 70s, 80s, even some 90s cars. Like we were saying last episode with your car, right? You're like waving at Fieros.
Yep.
Or what was the other? Oh, like RX-7s, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
what car is that?
Yeah.
And so now they're all every car is so different and so unique that it's like obviously its own thing.
In some senses.
Do you think that? Because I think so many cars look the same now.
No, I guess they do.
no,
I guess they do copy
I
each
guess
other
you're saying-
in the same ways, right?
Yeah, no.
But sports cars not though. That's interesting because like
Yeah.
the sports cars and the supercars and stuff, I don't think look similar. Like you can tell if you see something that's some of the like midline Audis and BMWs and stuff kind of start looking the same.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like an R8 looks nothing like the BMW like i8.
Yeah,
Or it looks
right.
nothing like a lot of what the other.
Like you're not going to confuse
But-
like a
like a-
Lamborghini Aventador with like a Ferrari F8 Tributo.
no,
or
but
a
it's actually
McLaren or anything. Like
it's
they all
funny you
look
brought
so-
this up though, because I was just about to say there are some McLarens that actually do look like some Ferraris, and from a distance, if
Interesting.
you see it, you're kind of like, oh, like I need to get a
interesting.
little closer.
Interesting.
And especially,
Yeah.
there are actually a lot of, I would say Maseratis and Jaguars and Ferraris can get confused.
Yes.
because Maserati and Jaguar for sure.
Yes.
But then there's like the Ferrari California.
Yes.
And it's literally just a two-door convertible that looks almost identical to an F-Type, besides being like little Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you-
so there's some like that, but then there's others, like you were saying, like you have a Lamborghini Aventador and then like a Ferrari 458, and
Right.
like you'll never see one and be like, I wonder which one that's like.
Yeah,
Like,
there's some
that's
super
it.
iconic. Like obviously, like Porsche always has like a certain. I like how halfway through talking about this, I switched from Porsche to Porsche.
Yeah, you're fancy.
Yeah.
now.
I sent. Do you guys have the notes open for the podcast?
I did.
If you do, I pasted the thing that made me say this. The all cars look the same meme. We'll post it in this show.
Oh, cool.
But it's a.
Wait, which? Did
It's
you text
this-
that to us?
It's this image of. I did not. I put it in the Google Doc that we've got going.
Yeah.
How did you send us that?
Because there was.
Google Drive?
Google
you
Drive.
text it to us?
I can text it to you.
Okay.
Me-
I'd like to
text
have
you.
that up too.
It's I texted us the thing in
Okay.
in our group chat. You can get to the notes, but it's a shot of a whole bunch. It's mostly for crossover. Like I think a lot of sedans, crossovers, SUVs, stuff like that. We were commenting on it yesterday, looking at a BMW X7 that was driving down the road. X7, I think. Yeah, X7.
Yeah.
That they just look like all cars are just starting to look. There's like certain things that every car company starts throwing on. That's just kind of generic stuff. Some of it that doesn't even really make sense, like as far as where lines go and things like that.
Yeah.
But then they've got, so it's just a side picture of a ton of different crossovers, and they're all different. Like you can look, if you're looking closely, like you can see on the bottom row, you're like, oh, that's like a CRV, and then that one's the Porsche, and that one's a BMW. You can tell by looking at them, but they all look.
Yeah, that's true. Because what is it? Those new Kias. Which Kia really stepped their game up the last couple of years, right?
yeah.
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 Colorado and stuff like that.
It's like they got sick of getting teased for the Soul, and they just went for it.
Like, we get it. We made the Soul.
Yeah.
And also, this is an identical matchup of Ford Explorer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For
It looks
real.
super nice.
Yes.
They might have done better actually.
Yeah.
No, they really did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just texted it to you.
I
You did. Okay. Yeah. So it's just that side view of all the white SUVs.
Yeah, dude. And they're
that the thing you said?
so similar. Yeah.
I think I sent you that. Otherwise, I
especially
sent you the link
side
to something
view.
else.
I mean, side view is one thing, but even like when you start to get to the level of like you said, like when you see like the back end of a BMW and you play the game of like, what are you?
Yep.
Because it's like you've literally seen that back end like on 5 different vehicles.
Yep. Yeah. Totally.
And even the fronts now too. Like
Yeah.
BMW, if it wasn't for their like 8-foot wide grills,
Right.
you would be able to tell. Like it'd be the same as any other vehicle.
Right.
But
Yeah. I
Like-
think that's why. Yeah, I think that's why we're all so weird about like unique. Like that's why like the E30 is just like a classic car. Like,
this
just-
is a trippy photo.
is it the one? Which one?
It's if you're on the Google thing, it's
Yeah.
like bottom middle kind of. It's a Subaru, a Lexus, and an Acura
Oh yeah.
lined up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
That's what
like
I'm saying. So like those, there's like a lot of things, but I think that's targeting like the mass market. They're just literally looking at what's most popular and doing it.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we all have like really weird, cool taste with car. Like that's why like Porsche stands out to me, because I think like the look of the 911 over the years, like the 944 and like all the weird angles and stuff.
They're not trying
like,
to copy anybody.
Yeah, they were just doing their own thing.
Well, yeah, and I think an awesome example, and it's probably my favorite Porsche now, is not their older models, one of their brand new ones, is how like everyone went to like the wagon and the SUVs and stuff, and then they were over here with like the Panamera, which is like this weird like sedan, but it's a wagon, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's
like
also
a slightly longer 911.
unbelievably fast, but then there's tons of space. It's like the coolest like cross between everything.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of Porsche just being like, you guys do your own thing. We're just gonna do this.
Yeah, I agree. So cool. Okay. Well, we settled our supercar thing. Kind of. We just flushed it out a little bit.
Understanding.
Yeah. It's weird. It's a weird line for sure. And that's interesting. It's cool to think like you specifically for your car. You're like, oh, cool. I'm like tuning and stuff away from this being a supercar. Like, I don't know if you'd ever call it a supercar, but it's competitive with them, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Would it be kind of like the guy we met earlier with the Golf R?
Yeah.
It's like, it's a Golf R.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 600 horsepower.
Right.
Stage 3. It's
Right.
massive.
Right. Yeah. When he comes up, hey, what's under your hood? We're like, oh, we did.
I blasted my wheels. Am I cool?
But it was, that was so cool. But that's a good segue into the next thing. So, I mean, the whole reason we're down here in Tennessee, filming in this great Airbnb, is because Tail of the Dragon. Like, we wanted to do this guys trip before both of you guys had your kids. And
I should have talked about this on the first episode when we were wearing the shirts.
Probably, yeah.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Those are so freaking
Yeah,
cool.
we're pumped, mate. If we get interest, we'll release them.
Yeah,
it's something that we sell, but
Yep.
but yeah, no, it's something. And as we hit new road trips and stuff like that too, I want to make a different shirt for each one of those.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. We can start framing them and hanging them in the background.
Yeah,
dude.
That'd be
hey,
so cool.
I like it, along with all the broken parts and stuff.
Yeah,
and
hopefully not from our cars.
Ooh, yeah, nah.
Not
not
only
like
from
wrong.
our cars, dude.
We'll just stop at the side of the highway, like this bumper looks good.
All the stuff we saw on the way down.
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah. Decorate the whole back of the studio.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, no. So we wanted to do this little escape trip and hang out. So we're doing this 3-day adventure. None of us had ever driven our own car or a cool car on Tail of the Dragon before.
Or driven on the television. I know you.
Yeah, you got to ride in that.
Yeah, in a 2018 Ram. So
it's a 16, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a 16 too. I was going to correct him.
Yeah.
No, that thing's
Either way, though.
sweet truck.
Yeah, it's super fast.
Just completely different than this.
But
though.
I mean, we going on it with our mom and sister, like, we drove it very slow.
Yeah.
Very slow.
Your camera just died. I
I know. I saw it.
I saw a flash and I was like, ignore it.
I can't allow it.
Go on without me.
But this drive, not that we drove faster or dangerous on this drive.
Never, ever.
Definitely not.
Right, wives? We drove safely. We definitely stayed at the speed limit. No, we were talking about that. So the speed limit on this,
Yes.
like the speed limits are like legit. Like this is probably how fast you should go.
Yeah.
Like 30 miles an hour
Yes.
on these 318 curves in 11 miles.
Yeah.
It's like 30 miles an hour. It's like you can't go faster than a lot of things.
Well,
Yeah.
you'd be
Most of it.
you'd like come out of a hairpin and go from second to third and be like, ugh, and then start slow, and you'd be slowing down to kind of where the speed, like you're in like the 40s range or something like that.
Yeah.
And you're not far off from where it is.
Yeah.
And like even the country roads around it, like everything we've driven on so far is
a lot
like,
of those are 50s.
yeah.
And you're like at 50 and you're like, oh boy.
You felt
tight roads, all
dicey
the
at the
trees
speed
and
limit.
stuff.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
It's been
It was
crazy.
cool. So good job, Tennessee. That's
Yeah,
been super
totally.
fun.
Yeah, for
And
those
then
that
props
don't
to
know,
you.
the Tail of the Dragon, Tennessee, North Carolina border, right?
Yep. Yeah.
When you start to finish, it's like when you start it, it's like welcome to North Carolina, or when you end it, and then when you go back, it's like welcome to Tennessee, right? Start and finish.
Yeah. It's like those first like 2 or 3 turns, and then you cross into the border of Tennessee, and then that's where the bulk of the of it is.
Yep.
Yeah, that like, what do they call it? The tree of
Shame.
Tree of shame.
like that, and all of those things were in the North Carolina side.
Yeah.
And then you went, then you got into it.
Which is
from
just everybody who's wrecked all of their parts hung up on the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of eerie to look at. I'm glad So we started on the end, I guess, technically.
Yeah, because we're staying like 20 minutes away from the end of it, so we drove it backwards the first.
Which the drive there, like you almost can't go wrong driving in this area. Like
no,
it was
really.
awesome.
Even driving around afterwards, the roads were awesome.
Yeah,
We kind of got lost and we were completely at cell service. So like, I guess we're just figuring it out now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just here.
Yep.
Rocky Mountains, Smoky Mountains.
Smoky Mountains.
There you go.
It's like we might just be camping tonight. It's spontaneous camping.
Going for it.
But like the drive there and
Yeah.
then drive around and drive back was all like awesome. But the tail of the dragon is like the hard hitting it hard. Spot.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was rad cruising into it because there wasn't like, okay, you're about to enter the cool road now, because it was
It just
just
kind of happened.
you just
was
like
just there
took
all
a
of a
turn
sudden.
and then all of a sudden there was just more turns and then the mile marker started counting down.
Well, no,
and
it's
got
like we
into
took a
it.
turn and all of a sudden it was like rocks falling, motorcycle crash area.
Yeah.
It was like high crash. It was scary. There was like 10 signs at the beginning. Well, you knew you were getting close because you'd pass the gas station and there would be all these like M3s and Corvettes. And stuff like that. Like I'm almost there. And motorcycles and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so two pieces to it. One, what did you guys think of the roads? And two, how cool is the car culture down here?
Dude.
It's
so
nice.
That's what we're talking about. These are our people, right?
Yeah.
It's like the drivers. Because we're talking about like what kind of car enthusiasts are, because we don't always get along with like everybody necessarily at the car show. Like when we were younger, leaning on that Camaro and getting screamed at the car show, like wrecking his $10,000 paint job.
Yes. Yeah, we should.
Our greasy hands.
Yeah. Just getting yelled at for being in proximity of something and realizing like, oh, I never want this thing to become so important to me that people can't interact with it. I mean, even you with your car now, is you're like, dude, let's have fun with it. Like, I'm not concerned. Like, this thing was built for this. Let's go enjoy it. You're not,
absolutely.
Like babying the thing.
Yeah, you definitely did not baby this
Yeah.
thing.
Within the speed limit.
Nicely, Audi.
Yeah, definitely nothing that would violate warranties or anything.
No,
Definitely not.
Yeah, yeah, we talked about the tune a lot.
Leave that out.
Different Audi, you have two.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool because like anybody we ran into, like even those guys with the bikes, like we go through it the first time. I was driving on the way in.
Yep.
Drove it the first time, super fun. You rode in the back seat of your own car.
Well, yeah. Okay. So you could probably hear I'm like a little bit stuffy right now. I'm trying to like sniff like out of the mic area.
Yeah.
So we stopped at the gas station on the way there, and I got this decongestant nose spray thing, and I was like, you drive first, because I'm going to let this like simmer in my system a little bit, like 30, 45 minutes, just to make sure I don't like start seeing black. And
you don't want to see 2 hairpins at mile 7.
No, in like hey, this is a 15-mile-an-hour turn, like caution dip ahead, and like we're going super fast. So yeah, I drove in the back. I got some good pictures, videos, stuff like that. We could probably like have them.
Yeah, we'll throw some in there.
for sure.
So we drove up. Let it chill a little bit.
Yep.
And
let the brakes cool down a little.
Yeah.
I was super impressed though how it's regulating temperature pretty well.
Yeah, we did three pretty solid runs.
Yeah.
With only 5 minutes in between each
we
one.
didn't-
We didn't let it that long.
Let's let the brakes go. All right, we're ready.
The last 2 we took a little while longer because they were smelling pretty good. But
for
we never boiled anything. With the oil temperature would go down as we were going through the run. It's really cool.
I don't know. Just it did get a little bit cooler, so maybe just like the airflow.
For sure.
Obviously, it's flowing well though, because we were. I mean, the DSG never acted like it was slipping or anything like that. Like it. I mean, I know you're fresh on a fluid change, but even like downshifting into the corners using the engine braking, using the brakes pretty actively.
In the TCU tune that I don't have. Just kidding, I can't pretend I don't still have the TCU.
Do you want that garbage can over there to put your warranty in?
Only had a few months left, anyways. It's fine. Don't need that. Hashtag void warranties, right? Isn't that like the car thing? Anyways, what was I going to say? Oh, the TCU tune increases the clutch pressure and stuff like that too.
Oh, that's
right. I noticed a ton.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys noticed that in between, like, because you drove it a couple times before.
I don't remember it much. I just know the last time I drove it, I was like, this feels like a pretty high performing car. It felt really similar to my S6 that I had. Like it felt like in the same ballpark. And then now it's like if you let second and third start running up past like 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, if you full throttle it, right?
Yeah.
Because like most of it was like half throttling.
Yeah. And even then it feels really good, but it's cool to know that you have that much more to work with.
Right.
Without feeling like you're going to punch it and like lose traction on all 4.
Yeah.
Like it's still completely within track. Those P0s are amazing. Those things stick great.
Yeah.
But
I can say too with like confidence, it feels like a different car because I drove it once before you had
And you drove it
on your other Audi before you had that tune on the other Audi.
My warranty's over there in the trash. That's fine.
Okay,
we're on.
Okay, so
high integrity,
before
right?
you had the tune, I drove it and I was like, man, this thing's insane. But also like I'm driving a TDI wagon right now, so
right.
But then like when you got the tune, it honestly feels like a different car.
Yeah.
Like it actually
launched it and stuff too beforehand.
Yeah, exactly. And then this time, like it feels like I'm launching it when I just like you shift into a different gear.
Actually,
can I push
something? I haven't launched it since I got the tune.
Really?
I'm a little bit more worried. I don't know. I know
What are
it's
you
like
worried about?
I don't know.
Like, are you worried about like the drivetrain?
Yeah, I don't know brakes. But I know like it's not like it went from 290 rated to I don't know what the APR stage one is like depending. I've looked at a few different trucks like 360 to 380.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but it's not like I added a turbo. Like I didn't increase the turbo or like it's all the software basically besides a resonator delete. Which
It's all like regulation stuff.
Crazy too that cars now are just like, oh yeah, let's just the software.
So
I've
cool.
always thought that with Audi though. It seems like they really underpowered them. Like
for what
you
they
just toss a tune in and get like almost 100.
We had said that too. Is it felt like this is how it should be released? Like this would be like a wow factor S3.
Yeah,
that's a good middle ground because at its current spec, it's basically a stock car S3.
Yep.
So it's like they did. That is how it should have been released because they did build that.
Yeah, true.
Point.
Audi's team's like, we're really taking tips from you guys. Yeah.
There's really.
Oh wow, we should listen to these three guys and their two viewers and how we should build our cars. Yeah. Anyways,
I bet their time driving a 944 and a really really fast 280ZX is really impacting their.
Slow your roll, guys. We watched your first episode. We know you have a lot of experience with cars. Okay. Anyways, driving up and down.
Yeah.
So we ended up going through 4 times. Luckily, we got there before any of the rain.
Yeah, that would have been
the forecast and it was
awful.
Yeah, we were just anticipating the whole day being rain, so we didn't even wake up super early or anything because we're like, it's gonna storm. It's no use.
Yeah.
But no, then we got all of the 3 runs were completely dry.
Yep.
No issues at all. And then we went and drove around and had some fun. Then it rained a little, and then we just took it pretty easy. Although even the last drive, it had stopped raining. We got to play with that, like the guy with the Mark 6 caught up to us. And
holy cow! It's like you don't realize how much faster a car can be because technically the Golf R is the same drivetrain, right?
Yep.
That's a manual transmission. So well, dude, I know your stage 3 probably still faster.
And you're saying it's a little shorter too, right?
Yeah,
the drivetrain. Yeah.
But they caught up to us in the Type R, and we pulled over and let them pass us because they were going way faster.
They were following us pretty aggressively.
A lot more confidence on the wet.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't following us initially. We stopped and were taking photos.
Yeah.
And then they pulled up as we were leaving, and they stopped and got out and were like hanging out.
Yeah.
And then we were like gone, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, they're behind us.
Right.
And then we pulled over. And then they were ahead of us, and then we just lost them.
Within 2 turns, we couldn't see them anymore.
Yeah, within 2 turns, they were just like, well, I was like looking far ahead.
To be fair, it wasn't like pushing it as hard as I was that one rundown.
No.
I was like, I figured I could at least keep up.
Right.
Like in eyesight, it was like 2-3 turns, they were gone.
Yeah, just nowhere to be
And then
found.
by the time we got out, they were already like getting out. We like
already out
exited.
of the car.
Yeah, they're getting out of the cars. They're like,
just
hey.
like, hey, what's up?
But how cool is it? Because we saw like the guy following him. He was in a Civic Type R, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had that guy. That guy was super cool, waving, talking about our car a little bit.
Yep.
I saw a ton of Mustangs, ton of Corvettes, like everybody. There was no weird like pillars around make and model, anything like that. Oh no, and even the bikes, like even when we were over by those guys with the bikes, like, they were being cool.
So my run on the way down pushed it hard.
Yeah,
it felt really good.
Yeah.
I pushed it hard.
Well,
that wasn't the time you were sick, right?
No, that was on. Well, because that was I had driven it. And I didn't push it as hard as you, but I pushed it pretty hard on the way down. We let it cool a little, and then you pushed it hard back.
Super hard back. Well, it's funny too because like when you were, who was it when I was riding? I was like, is this how it felt when I was driving it? Because it always feels scarier as a passenger because you're not in control of it.
Yeah, it really does.
You're just sitting there.
I remember.
Like, oh no.
Yeah.
Please turn here when you're like you said.
You're doing the phantom brake.
Yeah, you were like pushing the pushing the trying to brake. Where was I going with that? Well,
no,
anyways,
so you were talking.
I took it down.
Yeah, we're talking about the motorcycle.
Drove it down super hard. And it's funny, like when you're driving in your car and you like smell something, you're like, and there's other cars, you're like, wow, that guy's car smells.
Yeah.
And then we parked and it was just us, and we had all the windows down. We're like, that's brakes.
Yeah.
And then we got out, and I put the e-brake on and got out, and there was a guy like packing up his stuff from his motorcycle. He's like, yeah, smell your brakes pretty strong. I didn't want to turn your e-brake off. You work for rotors. I'm like, oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Just the coolest guy.
Never ever has somebody walked up and smell your brakes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was really. But yeah, it was neat because then he came over and just talked to us a little bit. He said he had 370Zs before, right?
350 or 370. He said he did some track.
Oh, 350. You're right.
And
Yeah.
then he's talking about his tuned up Fiesta.
Oh, that's
I
right.
was thinking that too, like hot
right.
hatchback, cruising down those things too, like all for.
Yeah. Well, even in like our wagon, like I'd love to get my wagon out there because it's not like it has independent rear suspension, still front wheel drive. It's not great, but just anything to like those corners. Like we were talking about the grading of the corners into each turn and just how great, especially that one like.
Yeah, where like
slalom
dipped
into the
and
hairpin
swung
thing.
up
Yeah,
and-
you felt
yeah.
like you were really like digging.
I hope
in.
this stays an open road because we were talking about that too. Like, how is this like? This is just a road.
Yeah.
You could just go here and drive, and like the
Like-
road is super nice and it's curved well.
Yeah,
and,
your GPS takes you on it, and there's no gatekeeping at all. Like there's nothing. It's just hey, take a left, and then you happen to be on Tail of the Dragon.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah, it feels like a gem. It feels like something special that's just still like unhurt by like tourism or anything like that. Like it's just a cool thing.
Well, the tourism is all people like us,
Right.
who want to come drive it,
And who
Or
want
people
to
see
want to
us.
keep it the way it is now.
Right.
Too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so neat. Like it's neat they had the infrastructure around like photos and everything there. You can go get your photos from your car that's there. It's like all that you want is just there. I got the patch, we got the sweet sign coming from it.
Yep.
And then I get a photo of my car ripping around the thing. Like it's so cool.
And everybody was super respectful too.
Yeah.
Like there was nobody really like driving too hard.
Yeah.
There's nobody like at least when we were there, there's nobody like driving.
Except for that Silverado that was.
Oh,
trying
dude,
to
that
eat us
truck
in the
that
beginning.
Yeah.
He was just trying to have fun. He was just trying to.
Oh, it
just
wasn't.
sit in
It wasn't bad. It was impressive that a like old Chevy 1500 from like 2002
with canoes in the back.
with canoes. in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like I wasn't pushing it hard, but like it was. I was like I'm not comfortable trying to go faster than this right now,
Right.
and he was right there with us.
That's scary being like the front car. Like
yeah.
If you're in a pack or there's people behind you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
just
I'm setting the
go.
pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The how cool was it though? Like because all the normal cars that are driving on, it's not just sports cars or anything.
Yeah,
like
it's a
that.
bunch of people just
But
looking
they-
at this because the views are
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah. But then
Oh, yeah.
every turnoff, they're just everybody just very kindly like moves over, lets you move past.
Yeah,
So
it's just like
cool.
understood.
So cool. Nobody's upset. Nobody's doing anything.
Yeah,
weird
nobody's like
that.
doing the highway thing, like cruising the left lane at like exactly the speed
No.
limit, like logging everybody back. You know,
Yeah.
like they
So it's like, who does that?
this guy.
Dude, mile per gallon gang over here.
Yeah, really.
It's like, oh guys, trying to get there, but everybody just moved over. I thought that was
Yeah.
super cool.
It was
Yeah.
really
Because
neat.
you got caught behind like Santa Fe, and you're like,
Yeah.
you're gonna be going.
Yeah.
Not that you can go much faster than speed limit, but they were
Right.
going like 15, 20.
Yeah.
Like they were going slow.
Yeah. And not even that you're saying we can't go much faster than the speed limit and like, oh, because there's like cops and stuff. It's because like it's scary to go
Yeah, you
beyond
don't
the
want
speed
to.
limit.
Yeah,
You don't want to.
Yeah. But yeah, you're like trapped behind them. You were saying something. Sorry. I interrupted.
No, I just thought it was really cool that
Yeah.
everybody just like moves over.
It was really cool. And like we're even
And the sports car people like wait too. They're not like
Yeah.
nobody's like passing.
No.
Yeah, and or like doing like
Yeah.
the revving or flashing or anything.
right.
Yeah. So
Right.
like
Like,
people,
people-
the Silverado revved us that one time.
Oh,
Or revved at
I think you read it.
car.
Well, because the Jeeps were going like 10 miles an hour. Like they all pulled out and then they were all just
that's
like doing
right.
their thing. And
Yeah.
so they didn't want to tip. It's fine. I've been there. I got Jeeps.
Yeah.
That's sketchy.
Yeah, no, for
Literally, our Jeeps have like the normal thing on the visor that's like, hey, airbags go off, so don't put your kid up here. Jeeps just say we'll tip over. Like it has
Yeah,
a
right.
tip warning up there. Literally,
Jeep sideways.
literally does. It shows that yeah. It's like sweet. This is the more. They're like the airbag might go off, but dude, you could tip over.
Yeah, right. Don't worry about the airbag as much as like tipping the car.
Yes.
Because the
Yeah,
airbag
for
is
sure.
gonna go off
Yeah.
that case.
But yeah, so what do you guys? What's the takeaway? You haven't talked much about Tail of the Dragon. What do you think?
sure. Was terrified. Hands down.
What scared you most? Was it like
Yeah.
the speed or curves, or was it like the heights?
Heights for sure.
Okay.
I've never thought I was really that scared of heights. Like I thought I was always like, it's like far down, and
Yeah.
that was it. But now,
kinda the
It's
gist of
just here but lower.
yeah, exactly. But now, like, I feel like I've watched.
It's just air but lower. Like every fear can be categorized that. Like, oh, you're scared of water. It's just air but like thicker. So-
Wait, I'm also that though. Anyways, yeah, I don't
Oh, I
know.
love
It's
it.
just like, so honestly, Pikes Peak is what ruined me.
There's
So
these trauma stories of like water and heights.
That's the
yeah.
which is hilarious.
True.
That was the last time we were talking. That was the last time we all did like a road trip together.
Yeah.
Was that Pikes Peak.
Oh wow, yeah. So all of our road trips
Yep.
just involve heights.
Yeah, we're going to Pikes Peak next.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Well,
say that
next.
No,
One
I'll
of the
just
next.
drive myself and I'll follow myself. No, so it was a really freaking cool experience. The first time when you were going, I was actually blown away with kind of how hard you were going. You scared me.
Zach's
So-
like, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
That
no.
was fun. And
was
maybe
cool.
it was the new meds I just taken. If I was just like, woo.
Dude, huge shout out to you though for being comfortable with other people driving your car.
Yeah,
in,
for
like,
real.
situations like this.
That's
Yeah.
why I haven't.
Yeah, but
No, but I like
a lot of
really,
people can
really
say that though.
appreciate
But
that.
like you were not like an overbearing car owner
I
at
was
all.
like, send it. Go harder.
I know, dude. You were
were.
for real. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. Anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
keep
No,
going.
you're good. So I think it was just a matter of me getting comfortable with you guys driving it, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it was I like having control in my life.
Yeah.
And so when it's like kind of put into someone else, I'm like, oh no.
That's what I was saying. It's scarier when you're riding almost because
Oh, yeah.
Way
you're like
scarier.
pressing the brake.
Well,
Like,
because
they might
I
be
thought-
like
yeah.
1 second slog and then you
Yeah,
did.
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
Oh,
because
it's
I
fine.
literally thought like I drove like a granny compared to you guys.
No, you drove it pretty hard.
You drove
Especially
it-
towards the end. You got.
It was
Apparently.
cool watching you get comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Because initially you're like, I don't know, and then like by the
I
end,
just like to look at the. Remember in the beginning, like I just like to like cruise and like look at this and then you're like.
yeah, dude.
Yeah.
By the time we got to that slope thing, you like went into it hard and ate it. Zach and I were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it is incredible. Like, well, because you guys drove down.
Yeah.
I mostly just rode. I literally rode them back the entire time. So
Yeah.
I haven't driven the car, especially after you got the tune.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna send us off a ledge if I try to do anything. So that's why I was like, I gotta just like, I'm a granny into this. I'm not gonna push anything. Like, I'm just gonna drive slow.
Yeah.
And then just like, yeah, literally, I didn't
Yeah.
even put it. Yeah.
I don't want to think about shifting.
Yeah, no, not at all. And
Yeah.
then like halfway through, I was like, okay, I feel like a little better. Yeah. And then towards the end, I started to like, because another thing was like with the flat bottom, like I do a lot of like the palm steering.
Yeah.
And I was like, I probably shouldn't do this.
Well,
When I'm
you
driving
need both
with this
hands
much
driving.
power.
Exactly.
Exactly. But then I was nervous about the flat bottom. I was like, what if I just like miss? Just-
You just
You go to grab it and stuff.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, towards the end, it was a freaking blast. I mean, I had a great time with both
Yeah.
of you guys driving. The first time when we started going, the first like 100 turns was probably terrifying. Which
love
sounds
that we
like a
can say
lot.
that. Yeah.
I know, right? It sounds like a lot,
Yeah.
but there's 318
Yeah, that was
of them.
a third of it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
like by halfway through, I was like, this is cool. Like I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. This is like freaking beautiful views.
Yeah.
Like this is just awesome.
Yeah.
And then when we stopped and swapped and you were driving, I was like, this is just cool. You scared
Yeah.
me so bad in the beginning, but after the first like couple curves, I was like, nah, like we got this. And if we all die, we die together. So
Sure, wives would appreciate that.
yeah.
That was our only thing from our wives. It was they had to come back alive.
Yeah, that was it. And we made it. And
We're not
then
back yet, but
when,
we're not back yet, but we made it past that part.
Yeah, exactly. We made it past the part that should have been bad. And then by the time I drove, I was like, all right, cool. Like I feel like I have a decent understanding of this now. I know like the highest points and they're not that bad.
Right.
I feel like if we fall, we'll at least hit a tree and probably stop. So it was like I
That
just
one
felt-
end we were talking about, we're like, what
Yeah.
is one tree to choose
Yeah,
from?
whole curve with just one massive tree. Like,
Yeah.
At least did that.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing that was probably, I mean, honestly, my favorite part is I really don't like car stigmatism is the right word. I hope. Is that right?
I don't know what you mean.
I have no clue what you're talking about. Keep going.
Okay, so
Might
like,
be, right?
Like Mustang drivers recognize Mustang drivers, but like if I drive a BMW and someone drives a Mustang next to
Oh.
me, they like won't look at me. They'll either
Oh,
won't
yeah,
look at me
yeah,
or
yeah.
they'll want to
Stigmas,
race me
yeah,
just
yeah.
to be like, I'm faster than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like here, it was like no one cared
No.
Yep.
whatsoever
It was awesome.
about what you drove, how fast it was, anything.
Right.
It was just like, hey, you like cars? Me too, dude.
Right.
We're cool, and
Right.
like I loved that. Like there was like Mustang groups that passed us, and they were like just wave.
Yep.
And there was
That's
like the
so cool.
BMW groups that passed us, and they just waved.
Yeah.
It was
Everybody
just
was
like
just
it was-
drivers.
Dude, and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
We don't care what
exactly.
we're drivers.
What was
Yeah.
that? Like the little Toyota Matrix or whatever
Dude,
that
no,
thing
it was a Corolla.
Corolla
that what it was?
It was a
SE.
Corolla hatchback, the new SE one.
And
it's
Yeah.
just-
4-cylinder turbo.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
Cool guy.
And we just like pull up and wave, and he's like, "Oh, cool." And I've never heard of those. I didn't know anything about it, so I
Yeah.
thought like, "Oh, it's kind of cool looking." And then he like pulls around and starts bouncing off his rev limiter.
I know, and then
What
just
is happening?
sends it.
Wow.
And then
And we're
like
like-
two steps the thing away. And I was
Oh.
like,
Yeah.
wow,
I
okay.
got a
Yeah.
video of that. It actually sounded pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll probably paste that in.
Yeah, we should do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah, but I think that was definitely probably my highlight. Like the views
Yeah.
were beautiful and everything. I just loved though that everyone was like so chill with
It
each
was
other.
so
Like
cool.
it was just cool driving everywhere.
Yeah.
And like people who were like so insanely into bikes,
Yeah.
just being like, "Oh, cool car."
Right.
It was just like, "Oh, like you
That
probably
is
know
something special.
you know nothing about this."
Yeah, when
but,
you
like,
cross that bridge and you're just
Yeah.
like, dude, sick bike. And they're like, yeah, your car looks great. And like, oh, this is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
bike guy, you saw the
Yeah.
APR badge. She's like, "Oh, it's the ARP? Do you have like the built engines,
Yes.
headsets, stuff like
Yeah,
that?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
was
That
neat.
part. That part for me was like definitely the highlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and then once we got past the Tail of the Dragon, doing it 4 times, and then when we kind of just got like lost, just like driving around.
Yeah.
Like that was just fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like it was just cool seeing
Yeah.
the different places, just like different scenery and stuff.
Yeah.
Getting like low by the water, and then super high on ledges, and
Mm-hmm.
it was just cool.
Yeah. Finding that one, that murder tree that had fallen like into the road.
man.
Yeah,
That was
that's
on,
right.
what was it? Great Valley? Happy
Oh,
Valley.
Happy Valley. Happy Valley Road. Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely go Happy Valley Road if you're going to go Tail of the Dragon. It's
Yeah.
right before the, or
you're-
right after, I guess. If it's at
If
the
you're
end.
heading in from the back end, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the last
Yeah.
road before you.
If
get
you're heading
there.
in on the
Yeah.
Tennessee side.
Yes, if you're heading
Yeah.
on the Tennessee side.
Yeah,
that's
coming
the
in
way
from
to
the
say it.
Tennessee side, it's like right on the left before
Yeah.
it starts getting into Tail of the
And
Dragon.
it's labeled too. It's like when
Yeah,
you
yeah.
cross over. There's like a bridge over some water, and there's an
Yep.
entrance on the north side of it and the south. You want the south side one.
Yep.
That's the Happy Valley.
So
Road.
that's it's all like low level.
Yep.
It's all ground level.
Yep.
So it's cool with you. And right by the water at the
until
start
the
of
end,
it.
it went up at the end, didn't it?
Did it?
Yeah.
That's where we got the.
But even that
8%
was
grades and
like
stuff, yeah.
that was okay.
Oh,
I
that's
think
right.
It was,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more just like nerves going into it because like
Yeah.
again, my last experience of driving on heights was Pikes Peak.
Well, it was dead getting close to the edge. Be like $1.
Well, yeah, because it's dead. So, but yeah, so that's my last thing with heights. So
Yeah.
then for this one, it was just like there was initial nerves going into it.
Yes.
And then once we kind of went through it a couple times, I was like, oh, this is just cool.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
why like normally I wouldn't have even been comfortable where we stopped.
Yeah.
I would have had a hard time going to those edges because I was like, if I fall, I'm never making it back up. Like I'm not gonna die. I'm just never getting back.
You might die.
There's a chance.
Probably
It was
not though.
pretty steep.
Well, yeah, but like, and then like for those even, like I was like just kind of like I wanted to walk off and just like get some cool photos and try stuff, and I never would have
Yeah.
done that. So like,
Right,
it was just
yeah.
getting comfortable, like
Yep.
being in this setting. And then once I was there, I was like, no, this is just this
Once
is
you just
cool.
do it, and especially once you're driving it and you feel the car and you
Yeah,
gain
you kinda
confidence from
understand it.
driving it because
Yeah.
I
Yep.
know how it's going to respond.
Yeah, for
Totally.
sure.
So, what are some words of recommendation, or what do you guys think about the Tail of the Dragon? Like, recommend, wouldn't recommend?
Definitely.
What are some notes for it? Yeah,
Do it.
I think do it if you want to learn your car. Like, I think it did a
For
really
sure.
good job because,
Well-
versus like a regular track, like it's a really good place to like feel your car
Yeah.
shifting. Set. You were even saying like, oh wow, my sway bars are like really coming alive. I
Yeah.
think those spacers did a lot for it. Like,
Yeah, I could really feel a difference
Yeah.
in just the 20 millimeter in the rear, 15 millimeter front spacers.
Yeah.
Like, felt
And you
like
don't-
it tracked wider and it has
Yeah.
a lot less body roll.
Yeah.
It felt like.
Yeah, because it's that, and then I feel like you don't need to have you don't need to have that fast of a car to do it. Like I feel my Porsche would be really fun on it because
Super
if you
fun.
you live between that
Oh, yeah.
like 30 to 50 mile an hour range,
Sneeze.
we'll flag it.
Bless you.
Bless you, sir.
Sorry.
But yeah, it really felt good. Like I feel like in that speed range, my Porsche would live there really happily. It wouldn't feel like I'm pushing it super
Yeah.
high. It
Yeah.
wouldn't feel like I needed to do anything.
I feel like if I had my E30 still,
Yeah.
and it didn't have 3 feet of frame missing from the front, I would have.
You hit the turn and then like.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that dip where it like dips down and goes.
Oh
my
my
car would
gosh.
have literally just been like, oh, and then like
You
would
get
have
out
been
of
like that
curve and then your
tearing
car's
thing
just,
while you're
your car's
driving.
just permanently like this.
Dude, I know your
Oh, no.
E30 was slammed. It wasn't.
yeah. But like just like the drive of that, because like
Yeah.
a whopping 101 horsepower. But honestly, like it lived in like the 30 to 40 mile an hour range, and it could
Yeah.
do corners like a
Yeah.
champ.
Yeah,
So,
you
like,
don't need to have like a super high speed as long as your
Right.
car like gets up and goes
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
quick from
Yeah.
from the turns. It feels really good.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say make sure your brakes are really good.
Yes.
because we wore
Definitely.
those down pretty like they were smoking
Yeah.
at the bottom of my run.
Yep.
Were they smoking?
Yeah, they were
Oh,
smoking. the fronts were
gosh.
smoking at least.
Yeah. Well, it was enough that we were worried about the fluid and everything. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh.
True,
So
yeah.
make sure you
Yeah.
got check all your fluids and stuff
Yeah.
like that. The tough part is too because there's no cell service or anything
At all,
when you're
yeah.
out there. So if you get stuck, like obviously there's a lot more. Depending on the day you go, there's probably a lot more traffic.
Yeah.
We were Saturday
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah.
So I think it was. I don't know how busy it really gets on
Yeah, I
the
don't know.
busier season.
But it was kind of supposed to be an off day too, so this was probably a pretty quiet day for him.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is
I bet.
nice. There was
Yeah.
barely any traffic.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
brakes, make sure your brakes are good.
Yes.
Make sure your tires are good.
Yeah,
I'm glad we
tires
swapped
huge.
to the
Yeah.
summers
Yes.
before we came down. I'd
Yeah,
be really
for sure.
comfortable
It'd been
with the
dicey on
winter
winters.
tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have said, like you guys said, if you're trying to learn your car, I would have said yes and no to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Because also, like, if you like, let's say you're me, and I'm going from like my E30,
Yeah.
to like, let's say like my ideal car. So if I went from like an E30 to like a URS6,
Yeah.
I would not have said take it on the Tail of the Dragon to learn that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because, like,
Yeah, I get
feel
what
like,
you're saying.
I feel like me, I would have been like, oh, cool. I wonder how second is, and then just.
if you want to like get your car, get to
We got
Yeah.
to edit in that one clip of that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like an Explorer just like yeeting off
Yeah.
the edge.
if you want to get to know the car better that you currently drive.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like if you already
Yeah, I would
daily it
recommend
or you already
test driving
drive
the
it.
car.
Like, don't go buy
Yeah,
a car
yeah,
in
yeah.
Tennessee and then take it immediately to the tailor track.
Yeah, probably not that.
For a car that you already have, you feel really comfortable with. Totally agree. Like, make sure your suspension bushings are good, brakes are good, tires are fresh, and not it's something we were going to talk about in a different episode too. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit here. Is making sure that your tires are not like off-brand, out of date, anything. Like, they've got to be.
Don't buy it.
Sucks to pay a lot for them, but it's worth it.
Well, that's something that maybe I don't know if we want to. Yeah, you can see that. I don't know if we want to talk about that in this one
Let's talk about
or
it.
another one.
Yeah.
can-
as
we'll
far as
talk
like
for a while
performance mods to change some of your
for
cars.
sure.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get a different one. Like
yeah.
some real easy stuff.
Yeah. But
It
as
makes
far
a
as
big
tail of the
difference.
dragon, totally agree with you on brakes. For if you have to prioritize things, like don't.
Yeah.
I think it would be tempting going, oh, I'm about to go on this road trip. I should get this new tune, or I should make my car
Right.
faster.
Yeah,
It's like,
don't do that.
No. Like make sure it's tight, handles where it is, because you're not going to need to live in 90 to like 110.
Right.
You're gonna be.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
worry
be
about your top end. Yeah.
Yeah, because 30 to 50 feels sketchy.
If you have like,
some
hey,
of
I'm
the
going to spend, $500. I guess it depends on the value, how
Yeah.
much the car is, right? If I have
Yeah,
like $500 to $2,000 or whatever, I'm
Yeah.
going to do a couple upgrades before. And definitely say wheels, brakes, tires.
Yeah, prioritize that for sure.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah,
those are in a
for
good
sure.
place.
And you definitely don't cheap out on tires.
Right.
Because especially when it started to get rain up there, and like you
Yeah.
just kind of feel it gets like you were saying, even yours like kind of like had a little bit of slickness at a couple points.
Yep.
Yeah, like don't buy tires how I buy tires, because I buy tires. Like seriously,
Don't do
after,
it like that.
What I
after you
say,
said
not what I
that,
do.
like
Yeah.
I was like, I'm that person.
Yeah.
because I either
Yeah.
go to Marketplace and do price low to high with my tires,
used tires?
and then or I'll go to Walmart. And then
Yeah.
it's just whatever tires
Yeah.
the lowest price I could ever get
Yeah.
with like having a decent rating.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
like that's my
And
tire.
it makes sense at some point, I guess, like to get just the lowest.
Yeah.
Because you can get some decent, like my winter tires, for example, I got them on, I think, Amazon or eBay or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just looked for, I got them on Priority Tire, whatever. But I just looked for like a lower cost with
Yeah.
that's like a winter only.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
for
So
sure.
sometimes it makes sense, but also I wasn't planning on like ripping it with those.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends
Yeah,
on
that's
what you're
the
planning on.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
If you were planning on, I'm gonna go push this thing hard. Like I'm in that boat right now because my Porsche needs new tires, and it's like trying to figure out, okay, where do you go with this? They're staggered set. They're kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it's knowing that, like knowing, okay, I know what I use this car for, so it seems like a big investment up front. But like when you think about it, it's the only thing that's in contact with the road while you're driving,
Yeah.
which is kind of scary.
Well, especially if you got power adders, right?
Yeah.
Like it's going to translate those
Right.
to the road.
Right.
So if you do a tune, like do
Yeah.
some tires,
Yeah.
like, you're going to feel a
Yeah,
lot more.
it's like
Yeah.
in a way you can kind of think about it like it's the speakers. So like you could have a lot of really good things going on with audio, but it's the
Yeah.
only thing that's actually going to translate that out.
Yep.
Just came up
That
with
was,
that
like,
now. It's
philosophical.
really
wow, that
good
was
about that.
really good.
That worked well.
Also, I never thought about that about tires. I feel like for me it was
Tyler's over
always
there
like,
having a-
This whole
yeah,
perspective.
dude, my whole world just changed.
I also do what you do though, where I'm just like I bought some like local
Yeah.
takeoff stuff at GTI. That's what I polished for my wagon. And I was just like, yeah, they're fine. And I'm looking, I see that they're dry rotted on the side. And so I was like, all right, they need to go. But like, they're not like the one wobbled at like 80 or whatever. It had like a little bit of an off balance thing, but I'm like, it's okay.
Keep it
But,
under 80.
yeah. But I'm not taking that
Simple
thing,
fix.
Right.
driving in the corner super hard. I
Yeah.
still need to replace them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I always drive my car hard. So that's why I have the Pirelli P0s.
Yeah.
And those just
Great
seem-
tire.
I had those on my A4, I think, too,
Yeah.
on the 17s
Yeah.
that I put on it. And those always just seemed like the
Yeah.
best. Well, not that I have a ton of experience with all of them.
no, but
But-
it's a good, because it's a summer only tire, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a
Yeah,
compound for that?
Ultra high performance, I think, some
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever.
'Cause
I know
I
they
had-
have different versions of the P0
Yeah.
too, but
Yeah, because I have I had some Potenzas on my Porsche for a while. And they were meant to be, I think they were a summer performance.
that's what I had on
Summer
the,
all
on the
season?
Audi.
I forget what they were called.
Potenzas.
Oh,
Oh, Potenzas. Okay. Yeah. Those are good. Love
Yeah.
those tires.
Yep.
They seem to wear kind of quick. But I have on my Porsche now, it's the BF Goodrich. What are they? Comp 2A? I don't know. They're sport tire. We saw some on a Mustang today, pointed out. But they're like a little more aggressive directional summer tire. I like them a lot, but they're super expensive. I don't know where I'm going to land this next time. But yeah, definitely like if you're going to do that, like summer tire.
Yeah.
Get your brakes done. Replace your brake fluid. Get
Yeah.
that stuff all in line.
Yeah, and I just had the service right before we left.
Yeah,
too,
that
so I
was
think
awesome
helped
timing.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to make sure because they check the brake pads and like
Yeah.
all that stuff and make sure you're good.
Yeah.
I don't know if they check them with the assumption that I'm gonna go take a 12-hour road trip down to the tail of the track. And then-
They should, yes, is that the Third Pedal podcast tip of the day? Is always check your car as
Yeah.
if you're going to go barreling down tail of the drag.
Right.
yep.
Keep it there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. You were going to say something, bud?
Oh no, I was just gonna like kind of joke that's past, but you guys were talking about the tires, and I was going on what tires I have. I don't know. I don't know what's on my
we'll
car.
cut it into the jokes.
Yeah, it's just like they're there
Yeah.
and my car moves.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No,
It works
it's
for
hard.
now.
It's difficult with some of that stuff because it feels like you're dumping a lot of money into something that but it's not really like changing the stopping power. But even like, could you imagine having like off-brand like drilled slotted rotors and they start like cracking rotors at the end of the second run and everything because
they would have warped.
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh, they would have warped. You probably would have had those minor
yeah.
fractures and everything too from the drills.
Dude, imagine just throwing a rotor down.
Can you imagine the feel of that if it just grenaded and sent you?
Oh gosh,
Dude,
send
on
yourself right
that,
off.
yeah, no thanks.
No fun at all.
Because
Yeah.
it's either off a cliff or into a cliff,
Right.
and then probably rocks on top of you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And then you'd be on the tree of shame.
no, you become scenery.
Goes from scenic to scenery.
Yeah, scenic to scenery in 2.8 seconds. Yeah, definitely recommend Tail the Dragon. Super fun drive.
Yeah,
For us, it was
Yeah.
11. Should have been 11-hour drive. Took us a little bit longer because we
Yeah.
kind of dabbled around a little bit.
Yep.
Got stuck in a lot of traffic, but awesome, worth it especially if you're on your eastern half of the country. Super worth the drive to get out there and try it out.
Yeah, if you're close at all,
Yeah.
just do it.
It's worth it.
So much
I'm
fun.
shocked we waited this long. I wish we would have done it earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
But,
Well, hey, that's why we're doing this thing, right?
Yep.
We're going to be doing more of this stuff
Yep.
together, car stuff,
Yep.
road trips,
Yep.
fun driving stuff. We
Totally.
don't really know where it's going to go or what it's going to lead to, but we
Yeah.
hope it's fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And we're
fast
gonna-
cars.
And we're going to enjoy the drive.
That's the
along
goal.
the way.
Huh? Wait, what'd you say?
I don't know. I was just doing like a way too serious ending.
Oh,
You just started crying.
I love you guys.
just over the table
Yeah.
hug.
But yeah, if you made it this long, thanks for listening along.
Yeah.
If not, then I don't know why I'm saying this even.
If not, then you can't hear this right now. Oh,
So I'm gonna cut this into a clip, and you're only gonna hear this part. Yeah.
no. Right now. Yes.
But no, that's that. So hopefully we'll pick through. I'm sure we've had a couple things. I think we brought up a couple like tires and stuff that we want to talk about in a future episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tail of the Dragon. Definitely recommend. 318 turns and 11 miles. It was great. And
Awesome road trip.
yeah, can't do the next one.
absolutely.
But cool. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks, guys.